This video explains how to develop material requirement planning record. Material requirement planning is a basic idea of or core idea of ERP, enterprise resource planning. This is MRP is for manufacturing company, but also we can extend this idea to retailer or logistic company. First of all, to build our material requirement planning, we have to understand the basic structure of SOP, MPS, MRP. SOP deals with product group and it's kind of overall business schedule. MPS is for end item schedule. Based on this MPS, we want to build some production schedule, operation schedule for sub-assembly or sub-assemblies, intermediate or parts, raw material. For example, to make this chair, we need a seat, we need a back slats, we need a crossbars, we need a side rails, we need a front legs. So we have to assemble this. To assemble these, we need some process diagram to represent this process diagram or process steps. We may also use product structure as well. This product structure is a bill of material, BOM. So based on this product structure, we can make this chair using leg assembly, seat, back assembly. For leg assembly, we need the legs and the crossbars. And also for back assembly, we need the side rails and the crossbar back slats. Especially crossbar can be used for two different place, leg assembly and the back assembly. And also we have each product item. So we have a lead time. So that means to make this product, so it takes 1 week. To deliver this quantity, it takes 1 week. For seed, it takes 2 weeks, and so on. So we have to take into account this lead time and number of components for each item. So also this product structure shows the parents and the child relationship. The parents, for example, chair is parents. For this parents item chair, we need child items, 3 child items. First one, leg assembly, seat, and the back assembly, and so on. And for leg assembly parents item, we need 2 legs, we need 1 crossbar. So actually we need a number of items for each parent item as well. So with this information, we can build MRP schedule. First of all, we have this schedule, master production schedule. Master production schedule said we will build 500 in week 5, 400 in week 6, 300 in week 7. Then it takes 1 week. So if you look at this lead time, chair case, it takes 1 week. That means they have to start this assembly in period 4, 5, 6 like this. And then with this seat, we need 500, 500, 300 in this period. At the same time, if we need 500, 400, 300 this chair, we have to start period 4, 5, 6, and then same idea, leg assembly, seat, and the back assembly. Actually, they need only 1 item for each. That means we have to deliver gross requirement will be same number. So that's why we have gross requirement for this 3 seat, leg assemble, and the back assemble. The gross requirement will be like this. So with this gross requirement, we have a schedule receipt. Means a schedule receipt is we release production order previous time, and this is a work in process, and now it's supposed to be delivered a certain day. That's a schedule receipt. Also, we have on-hand information, we have lead time information, we have lot size information. Based on this, we can compute the project available balance and the net requirement. Project available balance is actually inventory. For inventory, we can compute ending inventory is equal to beginning inventory plus coming in. Coming in is a scheduled receipt and the planned order receipt. Planned order receipt is our production schedule or assemble schedule, and the gross requirement is going out or demand. So we can use PAB equation. Also, we can compute the net requirement. Net requirement is we have a gross requirement if we have a scheduled receipt. Also, we have a available inventory, then we can compute the net requirement. To compute net requirement, we use max function. So then, first of all, we can compute this. So first, we can compute the gross requirement and scheduled receipt and project available balance and net requirement. And we can compute the planned order receipt and finally planned order release. So then this is receipt. Also, we have certain period information, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the very first one, and this is seed. And so we can define our product item seed case lead time 2 weeks and last size 1. So we have this information and on hand information here period 0. This is the current period on hand 0 inventory. We put all this information and also from this top to deliver our chair. This chair, it takes 1 week. So if MPS is this, and we have to deliver 500, 400, 300 for leg assembly and seat and the back assembly. We have to deliver 500, 400, 300 in period 4, 5, 6. So here, this is the gross requirement. So we have 500, 400, 300. So, and also scheduled receipt, we do not have a scheduled receipt for this quantity, nothing. And the present available balance will be, we can compute this number. So beginning inventory plus scheduled receipt plus planned order receipt. This is a scheduling quantity minus our gross requirement. Gross requirement is outgoing. So we can use this equation. And also net requirement is actually, we can use the max function of a gross requirement minus our scheduled receipt minus our available inventory of previous period, right? Or we do not take into account the negative number, so that is net requirement. So we can compute this. So actually, these are our input data. So I will use some color. So this is our input data. We use yellow, and these are our calculation lines. The calculation is this numbers. I will use different color. This is the calculation. And actually, finally, we have to build some schedules. Schedule is this one. Also, I use line. So at the very first, this is current period. 0 is actually current period. And also, we can use decimal point here. I just set up this table. And with this table, now we have to build our planned order receipt. And actually, we have negative inventory negative balance. Then our net requirement is positive. Then for this case, we have to build 500. We have to receive 500 right now, right? So then next we have again positive number, positive net requirement means we have to deliver 400. For this case, lot size is only 1, means minimum lot size is 1, means we can produce as much as we need. So that's why we produce 500 here, 400 here. We can deliver 300 here. And we don't need to deliver anything here. So this is our planned order receipt. This is a receiving date, and our lead time is 2 weeks. So if we have 2 weeks lead time, then so our order release, we have to release this planned order 2 weeks before. That means I just refer this cell 2 weeks before. So we just copy this cell. So this is our planned order receipt, and this is for receipt. And how about leg assembly? So leg assembly, we can copy this. I will copy and paste here. And this case, I will type information. This is a leg assembly. So this lead time is 1 week. And for this case, lot size 1000. And on hand, for this case, on hand 25. And there is no schedule receipt, and we have to delete this. And we have 500, 400, 300. This is actually from this starting assembly quantity, right? So because of this product structure, so we need this chair a certain point, then it takes 1 week to deliver this chair. Then our gross requirement is should be scheduled 1 week ahead, right? So that's why we have a 500, 400, 300 in this period 4, 5, 6, and this leg assembly same, and there is no schedule receipt. On hand is 25, and the minimum lot size is 1000. So minimum lot size 1000 means whenever we have to produce, then the minimum quantity is 1000. So then here, our first net requirement, positive net requirement is 475, but we do not produce 475, but we have to produce 1000 because the minimum lot size is 1000. So then we can cover next period, and the next period 6, we again positive net requirement. That means you have to deliver, you have to schedule this quantity, then you can cover all this. And for this one, lead time is 1 week. That means you have to start 1 week ahead. So I just copy these numbers. This is our planned order release. So this is a basic idea of MRP. So also I can copy this spreadsheet. So copy and paste here. And for this product is bag assembly. And the lead time is 1 week, and the lot size is 250, and on hand is 0, and gross requirement is same, and we have to build this one. So actually gross requirement and the schedule receipt is from shop floor or parent's item. This parent item is chair, right? Final chair. So going back to again chair, this chair. So this chair must be delivered in period. It should be start on 500, 400, 300 means these sub-assembled items should be available at this point. So that's why our gross requirement will be 500, 400, 300 in period 4, 5, 6. So same idea. So here there is no on-hand inventory. Then also there is a scheduled receipt for this case. So in period 1 we have scheduled receipt 250, but there is no on-hand inventory. So previous example we have on-hand inventory, but for this case we have a scheduled receipt. Then our project available balance or future expected inventory looks like this, and our first net requirement is positive in period 4, and we have to deliver our minimum quantity is 250, so you have to type 250. And second, and you can produce here, and again you have to produce this net requirement 400. And now again you have next positive number is 300, then you have to produce this. And again for this case lead time is 1 week, then you can schedule this quantity 1 week ahead. So you can copy this and can paste. So this is level 1. So we've done this level. So we have done this leg assembly, seat, and the back assembly. And now we can start the leg and the side rails and the back slats, and also we can compute the crossbars. So keep in mind crossbars can be used for 2 different places, so do not ignore these 2. So that means if you have any quantity planned order release, and you have to take into account those planned order release. And next we can do the leg first. Leg case, you can define, we developed leg assembled planned order release, right? Then those are their gross requirement for leg. So we will copy this one again. We will copy and paste. And for this case, we can produce legs for legs. So legs, lead time, legs lead time 2 weeks, and on hand 25, minimum lot size 1, and on hand 25. Then there is no scheduled receipt, and for this case this gross requirement from our parents item. So parents item is from for leg, what is parents item? Leg assembly, and they need 2, right? So 2 items will be needed for 1 leg assembly. That means we have to multiply by 2 for their planned order release. So leg assembly, where is the leg assembly? Leg assembly is here. Leg assembly is here. So we have to deliver, this 1,000 quantity should be available. We have to start this leg assembly production period 3. And also we need 2 items for each. So then our gross requirement for this leg is what? 2 times our planned order release. That is a gross requirement. So this is given by our parents item. So then we have 2,000 and 2,000 this period, and our planned on-hand inventory 25, and also we have to rebuild this schedule. Now how can you rebuild this schedule? Leg case, we have minimum lot size is 1. Then at this point we have the very first positive net requirement in period 3, and our minimum lot size is 1. That means we can produce exact same quantity. then we can cover this period, and the next period we can produce 2000, then we can produce this. Then with this schedule, this is expected receiving date, and also we have a lead time. Then our scheduled time is start time will be 2 weeks ahead. So then I can copy this. So this is legs. And next one, side rails. So side rails is what? You have to look at this back assembly. So you have to deliver two times of their gross quantity. So I will copy this cell again. So we will use this equation over and over again, but different data set, right? For this case, I type equation side rails and the lead time 2 weeks, and what is lot size. So going back to here, what is side rails, and lead time 2 weeks, lot size 500, and on hand 100, minimum lot size, and we can delete this. And also on hand is 100. There is scheduled receipt 500 here, and requirement side rails is for side rails will be used for back assembly, and side rails 2 times back assembly. Where is the back assembly? Back assembly here. So we planned order release of a back assembly is actually their gross requirement for their child items. So we multiply 2 and this. So that means side rails we have 500, 800, 600, and we have a scheduled receipt, and we have on-hand inventory 100, and then now, so we have to build our schedule. So our first positive net requirement is here, so we can compute, we can build the schedule at this point. And also lot size is 500, so at least 500, and then also we have 600. So then we can cover all these net requirement, and also lead time is 2 weeks. That means we have to start their production 2 weeks ahead, and then we have copied this. Now this is for side rails, and next we can schedule back sled. For back sled, we have to multiply by 3 because 3 items will be need to produce 1 back assembly. So I will copy this, copy and paste, and for this, so we have back slash, and lead time is 2 weeks. And the other information, backslash, lead time, on hand, the lot size is 1, and there is no on hand quantity, and we have to delete this, and for this case 3 times backslash, case of 3 times back assembly. Back assembly. Where is back assembly? Back assembly planned order release. So it means we have to deliver this quantity. I mean 250 should be available at this point. Then they can start, and then they can finish 250 in period 4, right? So that's why I multiply by 3 for each planned order release quantity. Then we have this. Then I can copy all this number. Then our gross requirement looks like this. So actually our back assembly case 500, no, not this one, 250, 400, 300 should be available, should be started at this point, that their requirement should be like this, multiple of 3. Then also for this, backslash, we don't have a scheduled receipt. Then with this, and how can you build our planned order receipt? And the very first positive number here, you can build 750. And again, our lot size is 1. That means you have to produce this quantity and 900 again, and we can produce all this quantity. Also here, there is a scheduled receipt in period 4, 75. Then you have to update here. So you have to type 1,125, and then here at this point we have this. Because of this scheduled receipt, scheduled receipt is already scheduled, already released to shop floor. They already start their production. This 75 is supposed to be delivered this period, so that's why we have this quantity. And again, this is lead time 2. Lead time 2 then means you have to start 2 period ahead, and then we can deliver this quantity. We can start this quantity. And finally, crossbars. Lead time 2 weeks. Lot size 1,000. And we have, for this case, we have to compute this net requirement. For this case, crossbar case, we have to take into account leg assembly, back assembly. We have to add these two. So actually, gross requirement for this case, each item, one item will be used for each leg assembly and one back assembly, each leg and each leg. So then equal to crossbar is equal to leg assembly and the back assembly, leg assembly, back assembly, leg assembly, back assembly. So here we have leg assembly planned order release plus back assembly plus leg assembly planned order release. And here in period 3, leg assembly 1,000 leg assembly should be started, and 250 back assembly should be started. That means a crossbar for these two items should be available at this point. So that's why we have to take some of this quantity, right? So we have some of this quantity, and this is a total, our total gross requirement. And how about scheduled receipt? So here we do not have any scheduled receipt, any on-hand inventory, on-hand inventory 0. And also we have to build a new schedule for this one. So here, planned order receipt. So at the very first, and also our lot size, minimum lot size 1,000. That means in period 3 we have to produce 125. So if you have to produce this quantity, at least you have to produce 1,000. So that's why I just typed this one. Next period, we have 400 positive net requirement. That means we have to produce at this point, but however, minimum quantity should be 1,000. So that's why I type 1,000 here. And again, we cover this, and the next positive net requirement is period 5. Then here, net requirement is only 700, but however, our minimum quantity is 1,000. That means we have to produce 1,000 like this. And this is our planned order receipt. That means we have to produce this quantity. Then we can satisfy their parents' items, production. And also, when do we have to start? And we have to start 2 weeks ahead. So you can compute this, and then we can copy all this. This is we can use this quantity. We can use this quantity. These are MLP scheduling. For this case, how can we compute the dependent demand? The dependent demand, we can start this independent demand for chair, right? To cover this independent demand, we build a master production schedule. Based on this master production schedule, we have to compute the gross requirement for leg assembly, seat, and back assembly, and we have to compute this, and we have to compute the planned available balance and the net requirement. Based on this, we can compute the planned order receipt, and we take into account the lead time, then we can compute the planned release time. Then finally, so we can explore this planned order release quantity to next level, that is next level's gross requirement. And also we have to take into account schedule receipt and on-hand inventory, lead time, lot size.